Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Sober Scoop. My name is India Gantz and I am your hostess with the mostest. Today, we're going to be talking about 3 instant benefits in sobriety. I just made an episode about sleep and diving really deep into that, and it got me thinking that there are some changes that happen over time, over a long period of time, such as impulse control. That was something I worked on for a long time. Emotional regulation, the physical glow up and weight loss that can happen. That happens over time. But some things are instant. And so if you're on day 1 of sobriety, or you are thinking about quitting alcohol, or you're in that first week, I want to give you some things that you can immediately look forward to experiencing. And hyperfixate on those. That's what I did. When good things were happening to me, I took note of those and I focused on the positives as much as possible, because obviously there are hard parts about quitting alcohol, obviously, but focusing on the good things, hyperfixating on the positives really helped me continue to pursue sobriety. And just being like, yes, cool, another good thing happened. Like, this is a good thing that I'm doing. It helped me mentally. So I want to give you some things that you can look forward to right away in sobriety. Let's do it. Welcome to the Sober Scoop. This is a judgment-free zone where we talk about how to get sober and stay sober. You're not alone. I hope you feel seen. Quitting alcohol is the best decision I've ever made. Okay, so instant benefits when you quit drinking alcohol. Number 1 is sleep. Now, I break this down in detail in the sleep episode, so if you haven't listened to that, just go back 1 episode and have a listen. But it is it's a two-parter, okay? So your sleep quality, that gets better pretty much right away. Like, I slept through the night pretty quickly after I quit drinking alcohol, because my routine was waking up in the middle of the night every single night between the hours of 2 and 4 a.m. like clockwork, because my body was physically craving more alcohol. So I would wake up, I would usually move from the couch to the bed around 3 a.m. every single night. I did not get a good night's sleep for years, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, so the sleep quality gets better. You don't have control over that. Like, they say that when you have alcohol in your system, you never get to a full REM cycle of sleep. So when you remove alcohol, your sleep quality will be better. So that is cool. That is instant. And it's amazing. It is amazing. Sleep is not even something that I knew would improve in sobriety. In fact, I thought it would get worse, because I was like, I use alcohol to fall asleep, so how am I going to sleep without it? And that's why this is a 2-parter, because I did struggle to get to sleep in the beginning, because I used alcohol as basically my sleeping medication. Alcohol told me that it's time to go to bed, and in fact, I would drink until I literally passed out on the couch and fell asleep. That's how I went to bed every single night. So in the beginning, it was a little bit more tricky to get to sleep. And if you want more details on that, go listen to the other episode. But we're talking about instant changes that happen when you quit drinking alcohol. And for me, better sleep was instant. I slept all through the night that first night. I remember I was like, wow, cool. Like, I didn't wake up in the middle of the night. That's crazy. The sleep is just so good. And whether you notice it or not, it is improving. Unless you have some sleep condition or whatever, like, your sleep will be better quality without alcohol in your system. If you have one of those Oura rings or Apple Watches or whatever, like, check your sleep score from when you have alcohol in your system versus when you don't. I don't use those sleep trackers, but I know that if you tracked it, you would be blown away. Scientifically, biologically, the sleep is better without alcohol in your system. And you just are a better human being when your sleep is better. So it's great. I would say instantly I noticed improvements to my sleep. The getting to sleep part was a process. That gets better too, don't worry. Now it's like I get tired and I go to sleep. I don't need anything to get to sleep. In the beginning, I was bouncing off the walls. I was hyperactive. I was doing yard work and house projects until 12 a.m., 1 a.m., and then like struggling to get to sleep. Now I get tired and I go to sleep, and I sleep all through the night. In the beginning of my sobriety, I got 9 hours of sleep every single night. It was great. That's so healthy, by the way. For your overall health, getting good sleep is really healthy. So sleep does improve immediately, which is awesome. Another thing that improves is digestion. I talk about this all the time, but like, oh my God, looking back, it was horrible the way I was living. I'm just gonna get right into it. I'm gonna be no filter, okay? Like, I did not have a solid number 2 for a very long period of time. Like, I would say years, like 2 years probably. I had like, sorry, I mean, you guys want to hear about this, right? Unfiltered. I hope I'm not overstepping any boundaries. You can exit out of this episode if you get grossed out by this stuff. Here's your warning. But yeah, I had like diarrhea basically for years. And I thought that I had IBS. I was asking my friend who's a health coach, I'm like, what's wrong with me? This is not normal. And if you look it up online, obviously it's not normal. But they're going to say that you have IBS or you're dairy intolerant or whatever. But they assume that you aren't consuming 15 beers a day. Okay, because obviously that's the first thing that has to change before you can even tell if you have lactose intolerance or IBS. Maybe you actually do have those issues, but you'll have no way to tell if you don't give up drinking. That's something that is very cool about being sober, is that you're so in tune with your body. And when I quit drinking, my digestion got instantly better to where I was like, okay, so I don't have a dairy intolerance. Would you look at that? I can have a whole milk mocha in the morning and I'm not sprinting to the bathroom most times. Okay. We all have our moments. Yeah. And I don't have IBS. I thought that I had IBS too, because I went number 2, like 4 times a day. And it was always that liquidy stuff. It got so bad. This is why I want to talk about this, because I know that there are other people out there who are probably experiencing this to the extent that I was. It was prohibiting me from doing things, my digestion. I used to start my morning with a morning walk every day, and I had to stop doing those because I would get too far away from home, and I would have these moments where I literally couldn't control my bowel movements. It was like, it hurt. It was about to happen. I thought I was going to have to drop my pants in a bush and go number 2, or like knock on a neighbor's door or something. Like, I had so many close calls like that. I never had an incident, but I had so many close calls to where I was like, I can't go on these morning walks anymore. This is getting out of hand. And the morning was the worst, obviously, because the night before I would drink a 12-pack of beers. And then in the morning, I'm like hungover, and, the digestion after a night of drinking is not great. And I drank like that every night. So my mornings were rough. And so I had to stop going on my morning walks. Or if I did, I would just go around the block over and over and over again. Because my apartment was basically I lived in one of those giant apartment complexes where it took up the whole block. So I would be lapping around the apartment complex. And on one side of the apartment complex was the lobby and the gym. So I had that if I needed to sprint in and use the bathroom. And then on the other side was my apartment. So it was basically like I was going around in circles, and every half a block there was a bathroom in case I needed to have an emergency situation and run in. So I literally changed my life. I altered my routine because of the bathroom situation. It was so bad. And this improved immediately. As soon as I didn't, in fact, I kind of remember it being like, what do they say? A reaction is an equal and opposite. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. That's what it is. So in a way, like, I had this liquidy situation, digestion, horrible. And when I stopped drinking alcohol, it did the total opposite. And I do remember that I was kind of constipated in early sobriety, and it was like, firm and difficult to go. Like I said, TMI this episode. Sorry. I wish that somebody else was talking about this online when I was getting sober, so that I could feel less alone. So maybe this is helping you feel less alone. Okay. So yeah, the digestion, I was maybe constipated for like a day or two. I remember my digestion got better so fast, where I was like, oh yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. I started going once a day in the morning, like solid, how it's supposed to be, like clockwork. Every morning I would have a coffee, I'd go to the bathroom, and it was just like that was my routine. And I feel like that's how it's supposed to be. You shouldn't necessarily have to have coffee to go to the bathroom, and I don't. Like, there are most mornings where I don't start my day with a coffee until later, and I still like drink water, go to the bathroom, whatever. And it's very regular. Of course, sometimes I have a day where it's irregular, like yesterday, in fact. I was like, wow, I haven't had this issue since I was drinking. I was like, what did I eat? But that's what's so important, is actually medically, like, knowing about your bowel movements is such a sign for your overall health. You can tell what's going on in your body by your number twos. It's true. If something's going wrong, if you are ill, I mean, that's why they have, like, for your cats and stuff, you're supposed to look at their poo. For your dog, like, if something's wrong with them, if their poos are weird. So it really does tell a lot about our health to be aware of what's going on with our bowel movements. That's why the doctor asks about it, It's important. So when you quit drinking and you actually are like in tune with your body in that way, it tells you truly what's going on. So if you are lactose intolerant, you will know it. If you are gluten intolerant, you will know it. Because when you eat certain things, certain consequences happen. I'm still trying to figure out what the heck happened yesterday. I started my day with a whole milk mocha, which doesn't usually affect me, but it was from a different coffee shop. Who knows? Maybe it was the milk in that. I was at a hotel, so I had room service breakfast, and I had like a full breakfast. I had fruit, eggs, ham, coffee, orange juice, but all pretty clean. Like, not really sure what it could have been. And it could have been from the night before. I had a really high quality pasta and chicken with a Caesar salad. I was like, what happened? What did I drink? I had a non-alcoholic glass of champagne because I went to this fancy event. So that could have been it. I'm still trying to deduce what it may have been because I haven't had this kind of a stomach issue in like so long. So anyways, it's very interesting to be in tune with your health and think maybe it was this, or maybe in a lot of cases you know what it was because it happens pretty quickly, right? Like you get in and out or something and you're like, oh my God, I'm not getting in and out anymore or whatever. So it makes you in tune with your body. I feel like that's how we're supposed to live. We're supposed to use our bowel movements as a sign for our health and an indicator that something might be going wrong. And having consistent number twos and noticing when something is irregular, it's important for health. It actually is. So, as silly as it is to talk about poo, it is beneficial for health. So, sleep, digestion, some immediate benefits there. Another immediate benefit is not obsessing over alcohol. Oh my God. This is my favorite benefit that happened after quitting drinking. My favorite, number one, without a doubt. My mental just clarity and peace was so amazing. I would be thinking about alcohol 24 hours a day, or any time that my eyes were open, I was thinking about booze when I was a drinker. It was exhausting. Oh my God. My least favorite part, the part that I missed the least, was I used to wake up every single morning in a panic. And I would wake up and I would be counting how many drinks I had. Okay, I had 2 in the morning to get through my hangover. Then I had 1 with lunch because I obviously have a lunch beer. And then after I finished that project at 2:00. I had like 5 beers until 5 when it was socially acceptable. Then I had 7, and I'm calculating in my mind how many I had throughout the day. And I would be so frustrated with myself every single morning. Every morning I woke up and I was like, God, why did I do this again? Why can't I get a grip? Like, come on. I was so angry with myself. Oh my God. And every morning that's how I started my day. That's not a great way to like get your day going and put yourself out into the world. Horrible. It's a horrible morning routine. And I hated myself for it. And you know what I would usually do? I would be so disappointed in myself, so disgusted in myself that I would go to the fridge and crack open another drink to get through that frustration and embarrassment and disgust in myself. Because drinking makes that go away. I have a beer and I'm like, I stop thinking about it basically. So it was horrible and it's a vicious cycle. And when I quit drinking, I remember so significantly that first day. There are a lot of things that are a little fuzzy because it's been over a year now. So thinking of like specific things from really early on can be hard. But this I remember specifically. I remember it like it was yesterday. I woke up that first day after going a full day without drinking. And my mind instantly went to how many drinks did I have? And then I thought, oh my God, none? Wow. Wait, I didn't drink. And that lasted a while. I would say for a couple of weeks, I would still wake up and it would be that panic of how many did I have last night? And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's none. I'm sober. I didn't have any. And I woke up every morning like, oh my God, it's none. It was incredible. That was just such a relief. And then beyond just that morning routine, also like being able to just go to things without obsessing over, will there be alcohol there? Should I drink before? Should I bring a couple to have in the car, in the parking lot before I go in? Will I be able to drink afterwards? What time should I leave so that I can go home and drink? Like, are they going to know that I'm drinking in the bathroom? Are they going to know that I'm way drunker than they are? Are they going to think that I'm an alcoholic because I'm drinking more than they are? Like, it was just a constant stream of thoughts always. And anything that I wanted to do, like a coffee date with a friend, it wasn't just, oh yeah, go meet her for a coffee date, drive myself there, have the coffee, have a good time and come home. That's now what it would look like. I'd be like, oh yeah, cool. I'm excited to catch up with her and like get a coffee. Nice. Back then it was, I got a drink before that. Maybe I'll bring a couple in the car, but then my breath will smell bad. So I'll bring a pack of gum with me and chew that right before I go in. Maybe I'll bring one beer in with me in my purse in case I want to have one in the bathroom to maintain my buzz. Like maybe I could convince her to go out for mimosas afterwards. I mean, I was constantly thinking about it. It was exhausting. Oh my God. Having a drinking problem is exhausting mentally. And just the peace that I felt. I remember I made a video in the Starbucks parking lot because instead of drinking beer in the morning, I went to Starbucks and I got my sweet, sugary, delicious Starbucks drink. And I was just like, guys, the mental clarity is insane. Like the peace that I feel is insane. I don't even know how to describe it really. It's just the best feeling in the world to have your thoughts back and not be obsessing over alcohol all the time. So that's another instant benefit of quitting drinking is you just get a break from it all. You get some peace. Okay, so one instant physical benefit was like my face, I guess. I wouldn't say the weight loss really started to show until about 4 months in, and that's when I started implementing workouts as well. The first 4 months, I was just trying to stay sober. I ate whatever I wanted. I didn't like force myself to work out. I was just trying to not drink alcohol. So that was the first 4 months. And then I started to see some serious changes in my physique at about 4 months in. But right away, I noticed a difference in my face. It started with the coloring. I post a lot of videos of my transformation. And while a lot of people look at my body, like have a look at my face. Because it's beyond just it being so round and inflamed. Like, yes, it was. And that does improve eventually. But did it happen right away? No. You're not just going to slim down and like be snatched 2 days after you quit drinking alcohol. But the difference that you can see right away And I know that you can see it because like the people in my lives, maybe I am living multiple lives. The people in my life would tell me that they could see it. So it was beyond just what I was seeing myself. My boyfriend at the time, he would tell me like, you are just looking so much better instantly. And what it is it's the redness. It's the patchiness. Like my skin when I was a heavy drinker, it was like rosacea, but rosacea is kind of like, I don't know. It looks like a healthy red, if that makes sense. Like it looks like your skin, even though you have the skin condition. The redness that comes from alcohol, it is like veiny, almost like this purplish, greenish, reddish, like splotchiness in your face. I don't know how to describe it. I saw it on my stomach as well. Almost like kind of how cellulite has that shadowy look. That's almost how it was on my face. It was splotchy and it looked sick. I looked unhealthy. And pretty quickly after I quit drinking, I would say almost immediately, my skin color and just the exuberance improved. I just looked so much smoother and healthier and brighter, and my eyes started to come alive. My smile looked better. Like I just looked healthier. And I truly think that when you stop feeding yourself poison, your body reacts and it's like, wow, I feel healthy. And it reflects in your skin tone. The skin tone, that's what I meant. The tone is just even and bright, and it looks like skin. It doesn't look like this patchy, inflamed, just unhealthy looking color that I had when I was a drinker. I don't know how to describe it, but when you're a drinker, you know what I'm talking about. Or when you're freshly sober, hopefully you can see that there is some difference. Now, I do want to talk about the mental side of this briefly. A lot of people message me saying like, I don't notice any differences. Like I haven't changed at all. I have a couple of thoughts with that. One, it's okay if you haven't, because you are healing from the inside out. And if it's not reflecting on the out, that's okay. You are healthier. You are a better person. And like that will come out in your confidence and how you go about life. So if you're not seeing physical differences, that's okay. You are healing yourself. And I want you to know that that's okay. But on the other side of things, I bet there are differences and you might not be seeing them. It is hard to be with ourselves every day and see improvements. You look at yourself in the mirror like a million times a day. Okay? When you're getting ready, when you're doing your makeup, when you go to the bathroom, like we're always looking at ourselves in the mirror. You know what you look like, so it is hard to see those changes day by day. But I bet you somebody who hasn't seen you in a couple weeks would notice like, wow, you're looking really good. Maybe they can't put their finger on it, but they'll probably notice that you are looking good because you are just brighter and happier and healthier and your skin looks better. And so I just want to say that sometimes we have blockers in our brains and we don't want to see ourselves in that way, especially if we've been like self-deprecating and hating ourselves for so long during our drinking problem. We may not notice those physical changes. And so whether you see them or not, I could almost guarantee that you look better in sobriety than you did as a drinker pretty quickly after you quit, even if you don't notice it. There are small, tiny little changes as your health is improving. And for me, it happened pretty quickly, especially with just the brightness in my face. So those three things are what comes to mind for me when I think of instant changes. One of them is a mentality, one of them is, a physical thing, and one of them is kind of a combo of both. So yeah, there are some great things to look forward to, and keep investing in yourself, because yes, these 5 things can come right away. It might take longer for you. Okay, everybody's different. But I promise that if you stay sober, so many things in your life will improve. And you have to just know, like, how cool is that actually? That sobriety is like a guaranteed return on your investment. Sobriety is a guaranteed return on your investment. What else in this world can you invest into and know that you will see success? Not a lot of things. Not a lot of things. But if you do not consume alcohol and you continue to stay sober, your life will get better. Of course, bad things happen and we all go through tough things. But you're not going to harm yourself by staying sober. I always have to preface that by saying that quitting alcohol can be dangerous if you quit cold turkey, and always seek medical help and consult a doctor. Okay. Yes, I quit cold turkey and I was okay, but that is my personal experience. And I always recommend that you speak with a doctor because it can be dangerous. Alcohol is the only drug that you can die from quitting. So be safe. But yes, like in the grand scheme of things, in the long run, quitting alcohol will improve your life. It is not going to ruin your life. A drinking problem will ruin your life. Being sober and working on yourself as a sober person, experiencing life in sobriety, all of that will be a good thing. You will have a positive return on your investment, and that is beautiful. So stick with it. Continue down this sober journey to give yourself the chance to see what could happen. Some things are going to happen right away. Some things are going to take time, but it is worth the investment, 100%. So you got this. Stay sober out there. And I love you guys. Thanks for listening. I'll see you for the next episode. Bye.